Good day, folks. This is your housing market review for this North Okanagan for April of 2026. The North Okanagan is stable, would be a nice word to put on it. It's basically flat. There's really not a lot of upward or downward pressure on prices. As you can see, when we look at this absorption, and again, absorption is the percentage of monthly housing inventory that sells in that month. So whatever was on the market on April 1st in the North Okanagan, 16.67% of it sold in April. And this is an important statistic because it shows supply and demand, and those are the two driving forces of the real estate market. So if we look at the trend here, in January it was 13.26%, February 13, March 18, April 16%. We compare that to last year, 15, 15, 15, 16. So the last year started out more aggressively or higher metrics than this year, but this year is slightly it's slightly more aggressive increase in the absorption. Same kind of story with sales. January of this year, 35, February 42, March 62, April 65. Last year was 45, 51, 60, 77. So it was sales actually were a little bit flatter this year in the North Okanagan than last year. Prices is an interesting story, and you have to remember prices is the toughest metric to actually show what's going on. And there's multiple different ways to look at prices. You can look at prices, average price, you can look at median price, you can look at benchmark prices, which is kind of like a market evaluation of a certain area in a certain time compared to that same area and time market evaluation later on. But we'll have a look at this anyways. So if we highlight, we click on April of 2026 average price column, and then shift click on April of 2026. We clicked on January of 2026 and then shift clicked on April of 2026. Right over here, you see that the average of the average sale price for each one of those months is $798,000. If we go up here and click on the same period of time and then shift click on April of last year, it's $753,000. So that shows a little bit of an upward trend, but I really wouldn't get too excited about that because the markets, the pricing is basically flat in the interior and basically been turning down in the lower mainland for the first 4 months of this year. And I think you're probably going to see a very minor continued stabilization of the markets in the interior, and you might see the lower mainland start to pick up. But for now, you can just call the market stable and flat.